everybody, and welcome to our very first episode of PHHS Intercast, where we will discuss the similarities and differences between Key Club and Interact in order to give anyone who's listening a clear understanding of both clubs and their goals. I'm one of your hosts, Joanna.
Sandy.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Mary.
So with Mini Club Day coming up soon, the freshmen are curious about the clubs that Piedmont Hills has. And today we have Key Club and Interact with us, which they are both community service clubs, but their differences make them each unique.
So beginning with Key Club officers, can each of the officers introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Annabelle.
I'm Kristen.
I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Chris.
I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Alicia.
So what exactly are Key Club and Interact? Starting off, could you tell us more about your areas and divisions?
So Key Club and Interact are actually very, very similar, which is not what you want to hear when you're listening to this podcast. But I think Key Club, in a larger sense, Key Club is more focused on building connections outside of our home club. So Piedmont Hills Key Club, along with 9 other clubs, we make up this thing called Division 12 East. And many divisions will make up a district, and we're part of CNH District, or California, Nevada, and Hawaii. And so you can see the scope of how big Key Club really is. You don't really get to see it when you're like attending everyday service events, but when you go to our annual big events, you'll see how many Key Clubbers there truly are in Key Club.
Yay!
So Interact, again, what Annabelle talked about earlier is that we're really similar, but the size of our clubs are kind of what differentiate us. So Interact is also an international club, so we are pretty big, but we are split up into smaller sections. So our Interact district, the one that encompasses Piedmont Hills, only goes from Oakland to Santa Cruz, which is basically like the NorCal Bay Area district. So that's a lot smaller than Key Clubs because theirs covers like 3 states. And our district is still considered one that is the biggest in the world for Interact. So Interact is split up into much smaller pieces. So everything in Interact is much more intimate, I would say, for our social setting. So you might be able to see that in our service events, but even as you become more involved in Interact, you'll see at our events, you'll see the same people and you'll be able to become really close with them. And unlike Key Club, you can drive to meet them.
Okay, Key Club, you can drive too.
You can't drive to Hawaii.
You want to you can go to Hawaii. We offer opportunities to go to Hawaii.
Do we though?
Yes, Eric.
So with your divisions and the people within them, both clubs have a lot of fun spirit. So tell us about mascots.
So we actually have different mascots depending on our district, our division, or our club level. So then on our district level, it's the biggest level that encompasses CNH, like California, Nevada, and Hawaii. And we're the Bees. And then on our division, the superheroes. And so each division has certain like different schools in there. And so on our club level, Piedmont Hills Key Club is Iron Man.
So as stated before, Interact 5170 is split up into 13 different areas and PHHS is in Area 6. So we actually just selected our new area mascot. Yay! And it's the Mochi Moon jellyfish, which I personally believe is super adorable. I mean, just search the thing up. Yeah. And you guys should also keep an eye out for area shirts coming later this year as well, because they're pretty cool. Kiko has shirts too, later. And we don't change our mascot every year. The same one, Iron Man. Ooh, we love Iron Man. Okay.
For Interact, we don't have a district or school mascot. We just have the area ones, and they change every year, so you get the opportunity to vote on them and also brainstorm them. Usually they're very cute, and it's very cool because we get to change our colors every year.
And fun fact, I don't know, it's not like a tradition that anyone put out, but A6 usually just has water mascots.
Yeah, aquatic
like sea creatures.
All right, and moving on, what about club mottos?
For Key Club, our motto is carrying our way of life. And so we really want to like kind of express caring and show inclusiveness and spread that out throughout our club and just throughout the entire community. And so
We have a lot of like our service events, and we try to spread that same concept of caringness throughout everywhere we go.
And for Interact, our motto is service above self, and essentially it's kind of like putting service above your own desires and kind of encompassing everything. So service is kind of like something that we really go by, so that's why our motto is service above self.
So Interact and Key Club, they're really similar clubs, but I think one major difference between Interact and Key Club, like at its roots, Interact is really individualistic. We focus a lot on the individuals within Interact. Like every year, or it's kind of a pattern within Interact that everything changes every year. You know, we have a theme that changes every year within our district. Like this year it's called Set Sail. Last year it's Soar Beyond Limits, and it's kind of the thing that we try to carry throughout everything that we do within our Interact district. And there's also our projects that change every year and our area mascots that change every year. And I feel like this represents a really big difference in Interact, where we focus so much on changing things every year that we focus a lot on leaving our own legacies. Like for me as area director, my legacy will be the mascot that I chose to have, because that's going to change next year. That's not going to be something that they have next year for whoever's the area director. So that's going to be my legacy. And so because Interact, we focus on that so much, we really focus on what one person does in their position, what they change, what they do differently. And that's really inspiring for me, because like in my freshman year, there was a music coordinator. Man, I know I'm going to say this wrong, but I'm going to try anyway. I think it was Senjanet Awoke, and her project was The Right to Thrive, and she did the international aspect. And I've never met her, but her work on the project inspired me, because she chose that project, and it was an amazing project. I think it was really inspirational. And so her work on it, even though I never met her, her legacy to this day inspires me. So I think that's one of the differences within Key Club and Interact.
So now we're going to move on to our major projects that both Key Club and Interact host. So what do we support, and how do we support it?
Okay, so for Key Club, if you go to our meetings, first meeting September 9th, if you go to our meetings, every single week we post like updates on our goals. So the 4 goals that we focus on are service hours, members, PTP and MNT. And PTP and MNT are basically our preferred charities. And throughout the entire year, we focus on trying to fundraise for them. For example, like PTP, we try to work with like local programs like hospitals to reduce the amount of pediatric trauma cases. And for MNT, we try to eliminate maternal neonatal tetanus around the world, which is basically a fatal disease that kills mothers and their babies. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to participate in helping to fundraise for our goals and saving lives.
Okay, so we're going to start seeing this trend within Interact that we change stuff every single year. But for our projects, we also change that every year, like our mascots. So our projects kind of encompass 2 parts, our community aspect and our international aspect. So basically, with these 2 projects, we try to raise awareness for, issues within our community or things that are happening internationally, and also fundraise for these causes. In the past, some examples of our international and community projects are the Right to Thrive, which basically was helping break up child marriages, and also give scholarships for education to girls in Burkina Faso, which is a country in West Africa. And also the community aspect of that was fundraising and also raising awareness for homeless LGBTQ youth within our community.
And both clubs, both clubs also host like weeks during the school year that promote like each of their projects.
Like, I think this past summer we had, an MNT week, and basically each day is aimed at like raising awareness, or the whole week basically just aimed at raising awareness for MNT, the disease. And then we do like these challenges. I think one of the more fun ones is like on one of the days, I think it's like Thursday and Friday, you have to eat a lemon, and that's pretty cool.
Disgusting. It's not cool. I had to do it, and it's disgusting. It's very gross.
Okay, so how do you reach these goals?
So for Key Club, there's a lot of ways in which we try to reach our monetary goals. So one of these is charity dinners and benefit shows. Honestly, we don't try to we don't really focus on this that much. It kind of happens. It just happens in the second semester, really. But it is one of our biggest fundraisers. Despite that, we also do fundraisers, like normal fundraisers, so in-store fundraisers, boba fundraisers, all those common ones. I think Interact Interact is pretty similar things, right? Interact.
Yeah, but one that really stands out about our charity dinners is that if you go, you get to meet other interactors from all over Area 6. So if you're kind of shy, like me, and you want to branch out a little bit, then you should definitely come.
And I think for Interact, I think we have a charity dinner in the first semester, and we also have a benefit show in the second semester. So we have 2 different shows every school year.
So you guys mentioned like performances. Do you guys have a favorite performance that you saw at a charity dinner or benefit show?
I heard the Twice Boys.
Yes, the Twice Boys from Independence. They're seniors, like really old seniors now, granted, but before they would come to they came to our movie nights, they danced after our movies, I'm not a K-pop stan, but people who like Twice are into that, K-pop's into that. So some really cool and unique performances.
Yeah, definitely for Key Club charity dinners, there's a lot of collabs you'll see. The most recent one we had with Independence and Milpitas, and so we have different collabs for charity dinners, and also if you see us at movie nights, you also collab with Interact and CSF and a lot of different other clubs on campus.
And at these charity dinners, like Interact and Key Club, you'll see some of the same groups performing as well. So if you like them the first time, you can always see them again. Especially for me, I'm a K-pop stan. So there's so many K-pop dance groups, and I usually snag a seat in the front, and I'm singing along and doing the dance moves with my hands.
I know, at charity dinners, all the K-pop stans, they'll when one of the dance groups come on, they'll all get up, they'll all dance in the front, they'll all sing along. Oh my gosh, you can see how K-poppy we are.
Very cool. So, moving on, I know that Miss Verona kind of ruined everything for us. So how have the clubs adapted to the current situations and in terms of service events? So
for Key Club, I know over the summer it's been really hard for clubs to find service events, and so everything has been moved to virtual events. The most recent one that we did over the summer, it was our largest and most successful project. It was Project Frontline Thank You. And what we did, we made over 100 cards, and we customized it with animations, 3D pop-ups, and we kind of made it personalized to each volunteer. And we wanted to thank the frontline service workers for the efforts against COVID-19. And we delivered them to hospitals like Good Samaritan, Kaiser Permanente, and Regional Medical Hospital. And it was really nice seeing all the pictures that they took with the cards and everything, and it made me feel really happy. And that's just one of the biggest service events that we did over the summer, but we also host a lot of other service events throughout the entire school year.
So through these service activities or these fun events, Key Club and Interact really have that huge emphasis on community and family. So do you guys have any personal experiences from those events or from service?
Yeah, I can just jump in. For Fall Rally North is the largest spirit event of the school year for Key Club. And it's actually held at Six Flags, which is really cool. And just kind of went to FRN, was in freshman year. And I had a kind of an embarrassing story about it. I knew that we do a lot of cheers for Key Club. We're a really spirit-driven club. And we were right after the spirit battle that we have when we cheer against other schools. I was going to the restroom actually, and I don't know, I was just so excited or whatever. I almost went into the opposite gender's restroom. So that was kind of an interesting first FRN experience. But besides the spirit battles, there's a lot of other things you can do at FRN. Since it's at Six Flags, you ride roller coaster rides. There's a lot of good food to eat. And you'll not only meet Key Clubbers from our school, but you'd meet Key Clubbers from our entire district, and that includes California, Nevada, and Hawaii. So people from like Hawaii or like Nevada, like they come over to get to Six Flags in California, and we all kind of have a really great time here.
I just want to add, like, 2 presidents ago, she was at FRN, and then she needs to go to the restroom. So no one noticed her because she was just going along her mosey way. And then she walks into the guys' restroom, and because no one's around, right? And then she sees like our guy officers in there. And then our president, she's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And then they just stare at her like, "What are you doing here?" And then she realizes that she's in the men's restroom. So yeah, lots of super fun.
You don't need to have that horrifying of an experience. It's more fun. It's more fun. Trust.
Wait, Annabelle, I know that you also had an experience with the restroom with the dryer. Would you like to explain?
It was last year, and I decided to make a very smart decision to go on a water ride right like an hour before we were about to leave. And so I was so cold. I was freezing. I was like, this is how you get pneumonia. This is how pneumonia starts. I swear to God. And then I looked into the restroom because the restroom door was open for some reason. And then I see this hand dryer, and I get the genius idea to sit under the hand dryer with my cape around me. I'm just like sitting there shivering. Yeah, you'll find a clip of it somewhere.
No.
Yeah, besides FRN, we have like other events. So Region Training Conference is also another big one, or RT. I think Jasmine, she had like a really good experience there too.
I love RTC. RTC is my favorite Key Club event by far. It's just so good. And if you had a good experience at science camp, or even if you didn't, it's like very similar to science camp, but better, I think. So basically, like, we get to go and stay overnight in a bunch of cabins. There's like no Wi-Fi or anything, so disconnecting, being like with the world, the nature. You ever want that experience? Key Club's got your back. You get to meet so many new people because you get to like stay in the cabin overnight with those people, and then you attend a bunch of informative like leadership workshops with them. The workshops like aren't the most exciting, right? But at night we have like this huge campfire, and that's like the best part of the entire event. You're like placed into groups and you form like cheers and stuff, and it's like a family that I didn't even know I had. It's such a good experience. Like, if you guys ever have the chance to go, I super recommend it.
And then those are 2 big events, and then we have one more. It's an end of the year event. It's annual, so every year we have it, and it's called DCON, or District Convention. You may have heard of it because a lot of upperclassmen go, but this is not limited to just upperclassmen. Trust me. I wish I would have gone when I was an underclassman, or freshman, or sophomore. But basically, it's like this really, really big event. And when I say really, really big, it's like everyone or every Key Clubber from California, Nevada, and Hawaii gather in this one like arena, stadium, this one place, and we just like seeing the amount of Key Clubbers in one spot. It's like crazy because you always, when you're attending a service event in just your home club, you don't realize how big the organization really is. And so at the end of the year, we have this, it's like a celebration of what we accomplished during the year and getting to meet so many new people. And then you can make these connections and then bring them with you to the next term. Or if you're a senior, you can bring them with you like for the rest of your life. Like, DCON is such a cool experience, but also it costs money, much like everything else. So
that's okay. We will fundraise to help lower the cost for you.
Worth it, yeah.
And if you fundraise,
typically it is $400 to $500, but last year we fundraised it down to $300. So that's even cheaper than Disneyland. Just saying.
Yes. And it's in a different location.
It's over multiple days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it like a week-long event?
No, it's just a weekend.
Yes. And if you like serve 50 hours, which is totally doable, you get to go and see your name at DCON up on the board thingy.
On the board, yeah. And then you get like a certificate and everything. It's like super official.
So I guess I'll start off with our opposite training. So similar to Key Club, where they have RTC, we have our own training events. These are mainly officers go because they're based on school nominations, but general members are still eligible to go. So we have 3 main events, which is President's Winter Retreat, which is around the winter time when we go to Walden West and we like do all the camp stuff there. So that's our President's Winter Retreat. We also have New President's Meeting, which is a day-long event where we had it earlier this year already. So basically it's where a lot of the new presidents get together and they learn about how to manage their clubs and all of the leadership stuff that they'll need to guide them throughout the year. Another really big event we have is RYLA, which is Rotary Youth Leadership Award. It's a 5-day camp that is run by the Rotary District, which is our parent club. So it's basically, we have a bunch of camp counselors who are adults who are kind of helping guide us. And we do all of this leadership stuff during a 5-day camp thing. I don't know how much money it costs. I don't think it costs anything because Rotary usually takes the foot of the bill because they're the ones running it. So it's a really cool event. Chris and I were supposed to go this year, but it was canceled due to COVID. But yeah, it's still really cool and it is apparently life-changing.
A lot of people compare it to an extended and a better Power because it is a week-long event and it's almost similar to Power, but instead it's not within the district, but almost anyone involved in Rotary and our age group gets to go to RYLA. Wait, so how long is
your Power experience?
Oh, my Power experience? So when I went to Power, I think that was one of the best moments of my life because I met like a lot of new people that I didn't know how big Interact was at the time until Power. And like, I think from that point on, ever since Power, I've been much more involved in Interact and I met so many new people. Like I wanted to be involved in like the district council, which Caitlin is our area director if you guys didn't know yet. But there's a whole bunch of things that Power gave me and it gave a whole bunch of people like a lot of inspiration. And so it was a really life-changing experience. And I wanted to go back. How long is RTC?
RTC is also just a weekend. So, yeah.
So I would say Power and RTC are somewhat similar in a sense, yeah. And then RYLA would be an extension of those two events, somewhat.
Okay, so FLC, a lot like FRN, it's Interact's biggest annual event, and it's actually held at the Independence High School gym. That's really close, so it means that y'all don't have to take buses like some kids do. Well, too bad for them, I'm sorry.
Buses are fun, I'm telling you.
Bus rides are so fun. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay, so at FLC, a lot of interactors, around like 4,000 actually from all across the Bay Area. They go every year to like kind of have fun, get together and just celebrate service. You get to do like a lot of things there. Like hear guest speakers talk about their experiences, which are really inspiring. I remember when I went, I loved the guest speaker there. You get to learn more about our annual projects, which are actually revealed there. Yay! And attend workshops throughout the day. Oh, and also before that, you get to learn the area cheer if you attend pre-FLC. And then during FLC, you get to participate in like this sort of cheering competition. Like that was really fun because last time I went, I remember I screamed so loudly I couldn't even talk the next day, which was not great because I had class. Yay. Okay. The workshops at FLC usually teach you skills like leadership, self-care, and a lot of other things that allow you to reflect on who you are as a person and kind of just grow. You also get to learn about our projects and basically more about relevant issues that are in our communities. And really, I think you can get a lot from the workshops and expose yourself to a lot of different perspectives in the world just by participating. And if you're not in FLC for all of that, then you can also consider going because you get to meet a lot of new people. Like a lot of interactors from all 13 areas go. And so then if you're just looking to branch out, you know, and kind of get out of your comfort zone, then you should also consider attending because last year when I went, I was kind of scared at the beginning. I'm not going to lie. I kind of just like clung to my friend group for like a majority of the entire event. And then when they put us in workshops, I was like, oh crud, what do I do? But then I ended up talking to this group of students from another school and we actually hit it off really, really well. And I was like, wow, I can actually talk to people. Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, so go to FLC.
I would say FLC is very similar to Key Club's FRN. You can probably You'll probably just or know the two based on the F in the beginning, but yeah, it sounds like they're very similar. We both gather in these areas and we just scream our hearts out. We have these cheers planned out. We scream our hearts out. It's super fun. Basically, I think one part of it for me is seeing all of the different colors. So I know Key Club has it's like a bunch of other divisions attending FRN, and then for Interact, I know it's like seeing all your colors at one place. It's like crazy.
What is like your dress code like at FRN?
It's like, well, okay, we don't really have a dress code. It's
or no,
it's
like what your dress.
Oh, what we wear. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we have our T-shirt, and then we have spirit packs, which are $20, and you get like 4 items, 4 or 5 items, I forgot. But it's a T-shirt. Sometimes, or most of the times, people wear tutus. I made a flower crown for myself. I have a spirit stick in the back. That thing. Yeah, and you see these people bringing these poles with like cardboard cutouts. It's like it's super cool. And then I know Interact, you guys have like your face paint, and you have your tutus and like your pom-pom thingies, right?
I think 2 years ago, when we were the Watermelon Whale Sharks, I think one of our ADs, he brought a whole like giant whale shark inflatable, and we're literally just throwing it around from the bottom to the top of the stairs. So like I think FLC and FRN are like the epitome of like spirit for both clubs, and they really like pronounce like the entire district, or for us it's the district. I think for Key Club it's your district as well, but it really like brings everybody together, and it's just really it gives you a different perspective on the club.
Like I think for Interact, even though it's like the height of our spirit and stuff, it's still not as spirit as Key Club because it's really oriented on learning and kind of celebrating service, because that's when we start talking about our projects every year, and then we also do a lot of workshops that are related to the projects and really being aware of the the privilege we have and what we need to do to take action within our community and internationally.
Yeah, I guess at FRN, it's just a lot of, honestly, it's a lot of screaming because you get this award and it's like ultimate bragging rights. But this is also the place where all our funds for PTP go. So like we have like 2 seasons. We have PTP season and MNT season. And so this is where all the money that we raised so far will go to PTP. Usually beyond this point, we will stop fundraising for PTP and start fundraising for MNT. But yeah, it's also super cool to see how much you raise in such like a short amount of time, because the term only started like a couple months ago. So yeah.
So moving on from FLC, we'll go on to Stayovers, Rotaract Stayovers.
So essentially, Stayovers are events where Rotaract, which is the college organization of Rotary, invites interactors, which is the high school level of Rotary, to go to college campuses such as UC Berkeley and UC Davis, and you kind of stay over and learn more about Rotaract in the college campus.
So there is a common question that Interact members ask, and that is, what universities tend to host these events, and why?
Usually it's just UC Berkeley and Davis that have the Stayovers, but for day events, it also has UC Santa Cruz, and I think that is it. And maybe San Diego, but not a lot of people from Piedmont go to that one. And besides from that, I think as Caitlin mentioned before, usually you would sleep inside the Rotaractors' dorms and rental homes, or in some cases their mansions, but yeah, usually sleep with the college students as well as other people from across the district, depending on who signs up. And it's not just limited to officers, but also members as well.
Oh yeah, because me and Sandy actually went to the UC Berkeley Stayover last year, and so it was a really great experience for like me. I never really thought about college. My attitude was always like, I'll go where I'm accepted. I'm not going to worry about it until then. And then after UC Berkeley, I just started thinking about it, because I remember I got to campus, I was like, wow, this is a lot prettier than Santa Clara University. And so after that, I was really inspired to really start thinking about where I want to go to college.
Yeah, and like going to these stayovers, it's kind of like your own college campus tour. And you, instead of like being in an orientation group, like at a regular campus tour, you get to be with people that share their love and passion of Interact and Rotaract. So it's really fun to meet new people there too.
Yay!
Wait.
Another big event is called District Sunrise, which essentially starts off the school year for Interact. And basically it's an event that celebrates the beginning of the school year for Interact by experiencing a sunrise with members from across the district. This year, obviously, we can't go outside. So this year, District Council, which is the board of our district, planned a sunrise over Zoom. I'm not really sure how that's going to go, but for me, I already signed up, and they're going to send me a packet of hot chocolate, and it starts at 5:30. So if you guys maybe see a post about it, I highly recommend that you guys try it out.
Get the opportunity to win a bunch of Interact merch, like the Area 8 windbreakers, which are really nice, and you'll get for free.
We have merch. We have a lot of merch. If you go to our first meeting, September 9th, and you also attend the club day, you will get a raffle ticket, and you can get free merch. I have a jacket. I have like a jillion jackets in my garage right now. Okay.
Shameless plug.
All right, so we've learned a lot so far about Interact and Key Clubs, their events, their spirit, the community, the family. And now we will be going on to the FAQ, which some of you guys have sent in. And these names have been changed to protect anonymity.
Okay, so our first question is from Freshie24, and he or she asks, how exactly will we be able to join these clubs, especially since we won't be attending school right now?
Great question, Freshie_24. I know for Key Club, we aren't accepting, or we're not like trying to actively recruit members right now, but if you attend our mini club day, there will be a Google form where you can sign up to be a member for Key Club. And then at our first meeting, you can also sign up. Basically, anytime after mini club day, there will be, I will spam that link everywhere. You just have to sign up through this Google form. Since usually we would have like these little papers that we give out and then you return to us. But we'll be doing that digitally this year. I'm guessing Interact has the same thing, same process.
For Interact, we're going to start having general meetings also on September 9th. Hopefully it will be at a different time, so you can go to both still. But basically what we'll be doing our events, we'll be doing mini service activities together over our Zoom meeting, and then we'll go into our regular, announcements about what is going on in the club. But yeah, we'll be having a lot of those also, merch giveaways and everything else that gets people hyped up for the year. And yeah.
Okay, thank you, Caitlin. So Joe asked, well, what do I have to gain from joining these clubs?
So I think these answers are kind of really standard, and in the sense that it's not standard, because obviously when you join a club, you want to join because of college, but then as you get more into the club, you stay because of the family, of the community, and of the growth. And these sound really like basic, but I have to really emphasize it because it really does give you growth, and it gives you a community that you can really rely on. And so that's why you should join these clubs for both Key Club and Interact. They're different in a few different ways, and it makes them really unique, but in the end, they both give a sense of community, family, and obviously growth.
I'm also going to add that I know as a freshman, it's definitely terrifying to hear all these words, family, community, group, especially if you're an introvert, because I was an introvert when I was a freshman. But I'm telling you right now, you just have to take the leap, jump and go in for it, because it's that initial leap that's the scariest. But then after that, I promise you, it's all smooth sailing from there. You will have the time of your life in high school, I promise.
Essentially, you don't know what's going to happen until you try.
There's so many hidden doors. You will see them all with each step. All right. Our next question comes from Agent P. What are your favorite club memories?
Definitely for me, I really like the big annual events like Fall Valley North or Region Training Conference, but there's also a lot of these smaller events that we have, that we hold over the weekends. One of my most favorite kind of races over last school year was Hell Year Half Marathon, and it was we have a lot of races. There's a lot of like community service activities where you have races or runs, but I think Hellier stood out the most to me because we were paired up with we had an advisor, and it was a water station, and we gave out food to the runners and water to the runners when they were passing by. And our advisor actually was a paramedic, and so we actually learned a lot from her, like the Heimlich maneuver or like some advice about CPR. So really amazing. Annabelle was there. I think Mary was there too. There was a lot of like I knew these people, but I was able to grow more with them after this event because we were cheering for the runners. There's definitely a lot of things that we did there, and I'm just looking forward to it. It'll probably be more virtual this year, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Okay, so Busy Bee asks, why did you join?
Okay, so when I joined Interact, I initially did it for a lot of the same reasons I think a freshman would join Interact, like college, and also because their friends were doing it and, just like for fun, right? But then I started actually going to community service events, attending bondings, and then actually going to FLC. And then I met a lot of people who were super accepting of me, and I was just like, wow, it sounds really cheesy, but like, I think I actually found my family in Interact after I went and did all of these things and got to see what it was like. I mean, like, after doing all of these things, I guess I actually like gained the confidence to even like apply for an officer position. I mean, I was an introvert. Like, I think I still am kind of like that awkward person who like sits in the corner and really doesn't do much, but through Interact, I was able to gain a lot of experience, and that really allowed me to grow as a person. So honestly, I don't think I would trade those experiences for anything else. And like, my advice, I would say, even though it's already been said before, is like to just go for it. Like, get the most that you can out of these clubs, because in the end, you're not going to want to forget it at all. And like, it was amazing for me. And I think if you want to really grow as a person, then you should join these clubs. Yeah.
I think I could speak on most of our behalfs, and like most of us joined because either our friends joined or college, and then ultimately, like what Alicia said, we all stayed because of the growth of the community and of the family. And so like in the end, you kind of forget that, oh, I joined it because of college, but you remember that you joined because the friendships you made and like kind of the community that's been given to you. And so I think that's why you should join.
And it's okay if initially you join because of those things, because of college, because of your friends. You join for the wrong reasons, but you stay for the right ones, So yeah.
Very well put.
Okay, and our final question is from A6AD, and why should I join Interact?
I think that people should join Interact because Interact will help you grow as a leader and give you a second family, all while, doing community service. Interact, we love to inspire the uninspired and give people the opportunity to seek discomfort. When I first joined Interact, it's kind of hard to convey how I feel about looking back on the past and how I joined Interact. But I feel like when I look back on who I was as a freshman first joining Interact, I'm a completely different person. And a lot of that was because of Interact. Like, the people that I met through Interact and became my really close friends, they always like hyped me up to like seek discomfort and take new opportunities. And that helped me a lot to grow as a person and as a leader.
Okay, so, Key Club's probably going to be the same answer, but, why should you join Key Club?
Yeah, so Key Club and Interact, if you haven't noticed from this entire podcast already, we are very similar. And the reason why you should join Key Club and stay in Key Club is very similar to Interact. But I guess you could say that we have two different paths in order to convincing you to stay, I guess. For example, like, we both have a sense of family and community with each other, but the dynamics are different, I guess, and you can only really truly experience it by just trying to join one club. And hopefully, like, September 9th, hopefully our meetings, you can try to hop in on both of them, see how you feel about each club. Just try it out for a week, maybe a couple weeks, and see how you feel about it. Because even though like this podcast is about trying to like convince you to join our club, Obviously, it's really about how you feel about joining the clubs, and you know yourself best about which club you're more willing to join and just fit in more with. So I would really say just try to hop on, join our meetings, and hopefully it goes well.
So again, for the closing, as I said, I highly recommend joining both clubs to try it out. I joined both clubs when I was a freshman, and I really enjoyed both my experiences with them, and helped me, make the best decision about which club I wanted to commit to. And even though I wasn't able to continue with Key Club because I didn't have enough time, I do have a lot of fondness for the club, and I do love it a lot because I remember how I felt about it in my freshman year, and I loved it in freshman year before now.
And don't worry, Interact and Key Club have a lot of collaborations with each other, as you can tell. So there will be lots of time for you to see your friends from the other club.
Yeah, and as Interact's community coordinator, I will guarantee that.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, and speaking about clubs, you're not just limited to Interact and Key Club. There's a whole bunch of other clubs that you can experience. So if you think Interact and Key Club aren't the right feel for you, there's CSF, there's Red Cross, there's so many other clubs that you can try out. So don't just hold yourself into just Interact and Key Club, and because there's so many different opportunities.
So thank you, Interact and Key Club. And be sure to check both clubs out and many of the other clubs at school on Mini Club Day on Wednesday, September 2nd. And there you can learn even more and sign up to be members. So thank you all for listening, and remember to stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.